Hi, I am Zoe Hurmi. I am the host of Hot Tamale, and this episode I will be teaching you how to make a tamale. Alright, now I will send you off to future Zoe to start off. So for the corn husks, since you gotta make sure that they are nice, bendable, malleable for the tamales, you got to get a nice ye old pot of water. It's as big as my head. Fill it up halfway with water. You can start off with warm water or not, but you will be warming it up eventually just on the stove. So here we are. Here are the corn husks, and we just put them in there. The heat is on low, so we're just waiting for them to get nice and malleable. Alright, so here we're just pulling the pork apart just so we can mix it and then put it in the tamales, because you don't want just that nice old big chunk of pork in your tamales. Is he okay? Alright, so we just finished pulling up all the pork. That took like half an hour. But next we are going to be mixing the sauce into the pulled pork. Alright, so for the sauce that we will be mixing in with the meat, we'll start off with an ancho paste, which is where you're going to take 2 anchos, which are a pepper that you can find at like Woodman. Alright, and you will take those 2 anchos and you will cook them in a pot of water on a low setting until they are soft. So there's no necessarily set amount of time, it really depends on the peppers. And then after that, you'll take out the anchos from the water, then you'll strain it. Do not get rid of the strained water. Like all the seeds that are in there, you can throw that stuff away. But save the water. So, you'll put the ancho peppers in a blender or a food processor. Then you'll get around a cup or half a cup of water of the ancho, or of the water that you cook the anchos in. And the reason why I say a cup to half a cup of water is because you want to fill it up till about halfway. Just so it's enough water to make a paste. And then after you've blended all of that together until it's a paste, you'll need a fine strainer and then like a measuring cup, something to put the paste into. You'll start scooping it little by little into the strainer and start scraping it on it so it gets just all the fine, like the bigger chunks out of it, and it's just the small fine product of the ancho paste, so it's more of a liquid. Then after you have done all of that, you'll need either a cup, one can of a 28 ounce of whole tomatoes, or you'll need 2 cans of 14 ounce whole tomatoes. It honestly doesn't matter if it's whole tomatoes, stewed tomatoes, diced, chopped tomatoes. We just use whole tomatoes for our sauce. So you can put that in the same blender or food processor that you made the paste in, or get a new one. Doesn't really matter. We made it all in one day and with the same blender and such, so it's to each their own. And then you can add 1/4 cup of chopped onion, tablespoon of lard or Crisco, 2 cloves of garlic, my favorite thing of all, my favorite seasoning, spice, whatever. 1/4 teaspoon of cumin, another 1/4 teaspoon of dried oregano, and 1 teaspoon of salt, and then you'll blend that all together. And then once that has been all blended and it looks like a paste, we will move on to the next portion. Alright, so right now we just poured our sauce into it, and now we're just mixing it with a spoon in mi padre's hands. So with the corn husks here, they're just about done. We're ready to pat them down and start actually making and forming the tamales. So we have to use
a double boiler is for the purpose of steaming something. So basically, if you look at it, there's no water down there, but underneath is water. Okay. So basically, what you're doing is you're putting the tamales in here, and then you turn it up and you boil the water underneath to steam
the tamales.
Yeah. And usually you're doing that, and once it's boiling, you turn it down to a point where it's just kind of a simmer to steam, and you cover it. You can use a steamer.
You can just use a steamer. It's just easier to just use
a double boiler. With the amount of what we're doing, it's a lot easier. Before I had a double boiler, I used the steamer.
Okay. Awesome.
Which is just like a vegetable steamer.
Alright. Okay, so we got our corn husk that we got from our pot of water, and we're just using paper towels. We have a couple paper towels on the plate. We're just dabbing it down to get the water out. Nothing too crazy. And then we're gonna get like around 2 tablespoons of masa.
That's not too good. You need a little bit more than that, but that's okay. Put it on there.
And since our corn husk, or my corn husk that I have right here, is a bit bigger, we're only gonna go, this is universal for most corn husks, but we're only gonna go around 4 inches down, but this one we're gonna go a bit further out. It keeps rolling up on me here. But we're just gonna spread it with a spoon, nothing too special. You want the masa kind of thick on it, so I'm probably gonna get some more since so I'm just gonna grab a spoon of our meat, just spread in the middle of us, and this is not enough for as big as of a tamale that I got here.
That's fine. This might be a little much, but that's fine.
Yeah. Then I'm gonna roll the end. Like this end does not have any masa on it. I'm gonna roll it over. I'm gonna try to press it down to make a tube.
It's not going to roll back, so just continue rolling.
And then just continue rolling it.
Yeah.
So it's tight, tube-like.
Get the moss off the back side of that. Otherwise you're going to have moss off the outside. Which is fine.
Yeah. Do as I say, not as I do. Alright. And then you just kind of, I kind of pinch it at the end, and I fold it over. Just so it kind of makes a seal, even though there'll probably be a seal, but then we just put them off to the side, and we'll just keep making them till we're done with all the meat. And yeah. Alright, so we had made a few tamales, yeah, only a few tamales so far. It's been like maybe half an hour. No, it's been like 20 minutes. And this is our first batch that we're putting in. It's in the double boiler. We have it on like a low to medium heat, and it's going to be in there for another 35 minutes, but it should be cooking for around 50 minutes.
Alright, editing Zoe here, and I never said this, but basically you're going to bring it to a boil, and then you're going to bring it down to a simmer, and then you're going to put the tamales in.
So, you might be wondering, okay, well, where did a tamale come from? So, a tamale, they were originally founded back in around, I want to say 7000 BC by the Aztec and Maya civilizations. And the Maya, they even had like hieroglyphic for tamales, like, which is right here. Ooh. And since a tamale is individually wrapped, it's a perfect portable food. They're often carried by warriors, hunters, and travelers as a sort of meal on the go. Tamales could be reheated over the fire or eaten cold. A tamale was made of masa, and it was steamed in a corn husk or a banana leaf back then. I mean, it's still made in masa, and it's cooked in a corn husk, but we don't use banana leaves, that I know of at least. But they would feed the wrapping to their goats, and it could be filled with pretty much anything at the time, and it still probably can, like meat, cheese, fruit, vegetables, chili, etc. Like today there are various assortments of meat to fill with tamales, or refried beans. Those are a very popular one as well. Alright, and then that is it. This is what they look like finished. This is a few days later, so it is not how it looks when it comes right out. But to reheat these, you can just pop them in the microwave for around 30 to 45 seconds, like wrapped in a paper towel or on a plate. But that is it. Thank you for tuning into the first episode of Hot Tamale. I hope you return.